Well, good morning. Welcome in. This is Realman Speaks. Attempting to inform, encourage, challenge, and help you be the very best real man you can be. Well, I'm driving yet again in my car. This medium is easily digestible. I mean, writing articles, as I've previously done and still hope to continue to do, is a lot of hard work, especially, as I've said previously, being in IT. To those who are listening, to those who are following, I so appreciate that you would take your time out of your day to listen to my 2 cents worth. And if you find this encouraging and you think that it's of value, please share the word. I'm just at this point in time launching out into a business, and being self-employed, as you know, requires a huge amount of time and effort, especially in the early part, to be able to launch, get established, and make some moolah. Okay, I trust you well. Let me just say that if you're experiencing some difficulty in your life, the precept that life is meant to go well and is meant to all be smooth and plain sailing and opportunities come your way and it's all going great is basically a lie. Life is difficult. It will always be difficult. Why? Because I know that in my own life there is and has been from a young kid when my alcoholic father left, and my mother was extremely bitter and paid it out on me throughout all of my life, and still has left a huge mark there. I forgive her and I love her all the same, but it's just an unspoken thing that once you've gone too far, once you've said too much, once you're not going to pull back and really, I guess in some ways, really actually show some remorse or some form of true restorative forgiveness, then it doesn't linger with me, but our relationship is very, very distant. Now, having said all that, life doesn't go according to plan, as you know, and sometimes there's the rhetoric that it should. Life should just fall into your lap and you should have great success. I'm beginning to notice that sometimes, and especially in today's age, there is a social re-engineering project going on. You know, we are exposed to so much liberal, progressive thought. And guess who's promoting it? Guess who's conditioning it? Well, it's social media. Tech giants are in cahoots with Silicon Valley. And you'd go, oh no, here he goes. He's going to talk about things like pro-Trump, pro-sovereignty, anti-homosexual. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is you can't sit there as a human being and allow your children to suffer some of the rubbish that's coming from social media, the media, and also Google and all of the social conditioning to tell your child that there are several genders, to tell your child at a young age that she has a choice, or he has a choice, to be the opposite. When frankly, you know deep in your heart, you cannot sustain that idealism because it's frankly, way too radical. Far too radical. So this is where I start to steer off into what I do best, and that is encourage men. Men, stand up. I was listening to someone this morning talking about how effective doxing is. If you don't know what doxing is, it's basically having an anonymous digital presence, I guess, a pseudonym, something like that, and then in the real world you're outed and normally your personal details are provided about who you really are. This can be devastating for some people because they can be in high positions, saying one thing, doing one thing, being pro-right or whatever the case is, and suddenly they're outed, can lose jobs, can lose a very, I guess, their profile can be marred. If you allow someone to, if you remain anonymous, the impact of that, of the doxing, is going to be incredibly devastating. And this is why we need to change the narrative. This is why you, listening to me right now, I am not the one that has all the power. I'm not the one who is, I'll definitely be the front line fighting, at the front line fighting, but you also have the power to do the fight as well, and together. And this is the point. This is why you have people like myself trying to speak into your lives, into the lives of younger people as well, to say, in unity, when we are together and we are changing the lies and the narrative. Look, I love homosexuals, all right? I'm deeply homophobic in a way that I actually can't stand two guys making out. I can't cope with it. It's not in my DNA. It doesn't mean to say that I absolutely abhor them as humans. You know, I treat my cats really well. These cats belong to my wife, I guess, but they're great fun. I've had animals, you know, and these cats that I have, they are, they're ginger. They're ginger nuts. They're great kid. They're like our kids, I guess. I guess we've, you know, children have grown up. Now we've got cats. We're the cat people. But I didn't at first really particularly like them. That doesn't appeal. But now I see just how amazing a different flavour of or colour of cat is. They're friendly, they're beautiful, and it's rewarding when they come for a pat, and you know, I get out the brush and give them a good brush up and a bit of a wrestle. Unlike a dog though, and it is rewarding. So I've learnt to appreciate that not everything is black and white, and not everything is cut and dry or grey. That doesn't mean, and I'll say this, if you are homosexual or you identify yourself in that way, LGBTQ or whatever identity you give, your sexual identity does not define who you are. Because I am also a father, I'm multifaceted person, but that doesn't mean that I am just that one thing. And that's the thing that I hate about the justification of sexual rights. It's based in identity. We are men, full stop. And our DNA is years, historically in our DNA is a lineage of man-like traits. And yet we're being told that we're gender neutral, and it's all about environment, it's all about choice. Okay, I don't want to go on too much more. But what I will say is there's coming a day where we have to stand up. There's coming a day, and it's now. The day is now, the future is here, where men need to unify and speak out and change the narrative. And the narrative is that social engineering is going to destroy families. I've talked about divorce. I've seen how harsh. I've experienced it at its depth, and it's backed up too financially. So you want to bring a man down? Here's 3 steps. Take away his self-esteem. How do you do that? Well, wives are very good at crushing husbands. Some wives are great, and isn't it a great feeling when your girlfriend or your wife is really proud of you and speaks into your life and supports you and says, you know, honey, I've got you 100%, I'm on your side, I'm with you. You know, that is huge. That makes a man feel good, makes a man feel wanted, and therefore he embraces his purpose. I am here. I am a positive influence in people's lives, and that boils down to family. Okay, so there's one step. The other step is you crush him financially. All right. I guess in some ways, what you could also do, and I'd say this is 3 because I'm just speaking off the top, but you take away his purpose, his self-esteem, right? You can do that through relationship. 2, remove him from family. Take him away from family. And I'll tell you what, some of you guys, some of you young guys out there, are afraid of committing to family, afraid of having children, maybe even afraid of venturing out and finding a wife or a girlfriend. Then you're missing out. So you've got to, as I boil this all back down to my original statement, that you've got to fight in life. You've got to fight for a relationship. You've got to fight. And life isn't going to give it to you. And I'm not saying your every single moment is about getting something for you. What I am saying is you can't sit down and take it. Society is not going to give one hoots, give a damn about your personal needs. Society is, shaped by a number of, or largely of, corporates, of personalities. I mean, our kids worship the celebrity, the age of the celebrity. And who really are these people? Yeah, they're good looking. Yes, they might be able to act and sing and play great sports. But you can't build a life on someone else's publicity. You have to be yourself, and you have to live. And this again is another trail I could go down about elevating other people, and not can almost also be a form of self-abasement, to the point where you feel unworthy, you feel like a second-class citizen, and you feel like you can't be as successful as they are. And yet they need your fan following. They need you to embrace their lives. See, this is the power of the narrative. The narrative is that it's your God-given right to be on this earth, to be, I think so, to be able to live a great life. So, what are you going to do? The third point, getting back to 3 ways to destroy man. Third point is crush him financially. I pay a phenomenal amount of money to support my 2 kids, all right? And yet I don't have the day-to-day. So this has enabled my ex-wife to be able to live out of town, and you can imagine the cost on my part that I have to not only provide for their everyday needs, and I say to the kids, go see your mum about money on the side. I can't afford to give you, go and talk to her, because that money's going to her. But of course they never see it, right? And I will say that I think that's wrong. That there's almost this entitlement, because I'm looking after the children, I should deserve all of this money. Well, I have to work to get money. I also have to live, and I've lived pretty lean at times and lived in some unsavory environments in order to have the money to be able to bless my children. So we're all making sacrifices. And the government itself seems to be set against family, set against men. We're all working long hours. I mean, there is this whole dredge towards destroying the family. So there's everything to fight for. So today, if you've heard me talking about this before, my encouragement to you is you got to stand up and fight back. And unified together, we can actually speak against the narrative. And the narrative is this, that society is telling you that all of this liberal progressivism, all of this so-called fear-mongering is a majority viewpoint, and it's not. It is not. Conservative, Christian maybe, Christian values, people who embrace Christian values, they are in the majority. Why? Because what I guess our progressive leaders are saying is that, we want to shape society, but they don't have to put kids to bed. They don't have to raise grumpy teenagers. They don't have to put food on the table, because they're the one or the two or the three over here who are the speaking heads in the media who get a greater audience, and we sit back and do nothing. We sit back and remain, in our safe space, not saying anything, not raising opinion. So I'm saying to us now, be proud of who you are. You are fully male, and you are born for the battle. Today, I just want to encourage you, review some of the stuff I'm talking about. I want to also put in a special plug for those who are familiar with the black dog. Guys, recently, a famous surfer, Sonny Garcia, 6 times, pipeline champ, world champ once, maybe twice, kind of my age, middle-aged. He was a Hawaiian hellman, known for being a big, powerful surfer and very much an aggressive kind of guy. Well, he, I believe, succumbed to an attempted suicide. It's not well known, but that is basically the case. He's been battling that dog and has survived. In some of these surfers, you see the look of concern, and people like Kelly Slater. I might have digressed, but I just want to say that today is worth living. It may not look like that, but tomorrow could be a better day if you start to actually chip it away, chip at it. Do something today. Do something that's incredibly positive, and do the next incredibly positive thing tomorrow, and the day on and day on. You're worth it. You deserve a shot. And even if you've had to get back up and get back up and get back up, and you sense that it's not working, let me encourage you that there is a living God who loves you more than what I can tell you, who is willing to come on side, who is loving you, who is available to you. You just need to cry out and ask for help. So, having said all that, I wish you a wonderful day, and enjoy life. Get in the battle, get mucky, be proud of who you are. Signing off. This is Brent.